Okay, I'm back with another person. Oops. Okay, we're back with another Persona 4 Arena Ultimate, okay? So last time we finished up P4AU, I tried to find the 1% left in use one, but I couldn't exactly find it. They say like, oh, choose everything the first one and choose everything the second choice. I did both and I was not able to complete it, but there's a bit more scenes, but not everything. So I'm not sure where did I go wrong or like how to get that last 1%. Okay. Well, I think more or less this should be it. No problem. Okay, so it should no less be it shouldn't be a big problem. Right now, we're gonna go for episode P4. Okay. So episode P4, I don't know what the story is about yet, but most of the people they say like, oh, it probably has something to do with the P4A. It's a continuation of that story, and we'll see about that. Okay. So I did promise today that maybe I'll be playing Dark Deity 2, but Dark Deity 2 will be unlocked in 2 hours. Okay. So I don't want to bother the streaming time, so we're gonna play Persona 4 Arena Ultimax and tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna slot in Dark Deity starting on Wednesday, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, I played the first game, like, it does feel that Dark Deity 2, like the Dark Deity series, they based it on Dark Deity 2, Dark Deity they based on Fire Emblem, heavily inspired, and they try to like make it in a sense much more they're trying to improve on the Fire Emblem series, okay? That's what I'm saying. So I did look at their trailer from time to time, I did check up on it, and I'm looking forward to play it, okay? So Wednesday we're gonna play that. So but for now, let's go inside.
では、私どもの手助けは必要ないと、そうおっしゃるのですね。
There's
結
an
構。ならば、もはや申すこともありますまい。
it seems like there's going to be like a new person joining in.
さて、この場所、本来は何かの形で契約を果たされた方のみが訪れる部屋。あなたは力を磨くべき運命にあり、必ずや私どもの手助けが必要となるでしょう。では、再び見えますときまで、ごきげんよう。
So is this the awakening of another wild card?
実に興味深い。
よろしいのですか？ここはお客様の定めと不可分の領域。この部屋で全く無意味なことは起こらない。だとすれば、今しがたこの場所を訪れたお客様の運命とは、おそらく
マーガレット。
失礼いたしました。私どもに許されるのは、契約を果たされたお客様の旅路を見守り、手助けすることだけ。
さよう。
あの少年、鳴神優が鍵となる先ほどのお客様の運命。
See, like I say, there's going to be like a new character that is probably a new character we haven't seen so
果た
far.
してどのような結末？いいえ、出会いが待ち受けているのかしら。鳴神優、本当に飽きさせてはくれないお客様だわ。
Among all the velvet room attendant, Margaret is for me. Dun, 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 dun. It's May 5th, the day after we saw Labris and the shadow operates off. We're in the corner of the chaotic as usual for Junior's food court.
やっぱこうなったか。
こうなったかじゃないよ。どうすんのさ、席全然開かないじゃん。
しょうがねえだろ。ゴールデンウィーク中、しかも子供の日のジュネスだぜ。混んでなきゃうち潰れてるっつうの。
Mm-hmm.
そうか。今日は子供の日か。
あ、
ナナコも連れてくればよかったな。
そっちかよ。
Go Banjo. Watching the kids run around, I think back to Nanako's face when I told her I'll be going out. She looked like she wanted to say something. I feel bad that I didn't ask her about it. But given what we came to talk about, I couldn't take her with me. I wonder if she's watching TV alone now, as she usually does.
先輩、席を抑えましたけど。
Can't we just bring Nanako? Oh god, I'm turning into Shiscon Banzo. But can we bring her?
お、でかした感じ。
漢字のくせにやるくまね。
てめえ、熊子。くせには余計だっつうの。
It seemed like this time, like when we did the Persona 4 Arena, P1 Grand P1, like it's very visual novel. This one, like they're trying to give more time to talking, which is like what I want.
いちいちやり合わない。行こう、なるかみくん。
あ、
With Yukiko spurring us on, we move on to the seats Kanji saved. There's a table for 4 with 6 chairs he found somewhere. After waiting for everyone to be seated, Yosuke clears his throat as if to drive away all the noises.
本日はお日柄もよく。
おいおい、そんなこと言ってる状況ですか？
仕方ねえだろ。こんだけ人がいいんだぞ。
クマ、こっちの姿で正解だったね。いつもの姿だったら今頃プリチーラインをお子様たちに狙われて低層の危機になっちゃう。クマさんの毛、時々子供たちにむしられてるもんね。わお、ひょっとしてユキちゃん、クマをいたわってくれてる？愛の芽生えだね。え、それはないよ。愛心の全否定クマ。
おめえが懲りねえだけだろ。
もういいからちゃっちゃと始めよう。昨日もなんだかんだであんま話せなかったし。
And not to cheer. We gathered here yesterday after seeing Labris off, but there wasn't time to calm down and talk about what happened. In the end, we agreed to leave the details to tomorrow, which is now today.
周りのことは気にするな。始めよう。特捜会議。
ああ、そうっすか。ま、2人ほど欠席だけどな。
クマ、ベイビーちゃんたちが少ないのは寂しいな。とほほ。リセちゃんにナオちゃんまでいないなんて。
Aww.
だがリセはこの前みたいに連絡が取れなくなってるわけじゃない。
仕方ないよ。リセちゃんすごく忙しいみたい。連休中もお仕事って言ってたし、昨日話ができただけでもよかったかも。
Yeah.
だね。ナオトくんも仕事大変みたい。相変わらずって感じだよね。ナオトくん、今度の事件についても私たちの知らないことを知ってた。キリジョーさんたちのことも最初から知ってたみたい。
ああ。だがおかげで俺たちも情報を得ることができた。
じゃあここはその情報込みでちゃっちゃと今回のことまとめてみっか。
Yosuke is right. So much has happened in these past few days that none of us has a good grasp on it all. We need to sort through what we learn again.
事の始まりは何だったんすかね。やっぱあの真夜中テレビ？
That as well, but this is the problem. We only have the information on our side. We don't have information on what happened on the P3 side, because P3 side is where Labris was, where Labris was held, and then like had the plane hijacking and stuff. So in a sense, we are not working on full information with our hand.
俺途中まで自分の夢の中だと思ってたからいまいちピンときてねえんすよ。
The Midnight Channel, that TV where we helped to restore peace, and it ended up being used by someone else in the Labris incident. Like I say, I think it's one of the gods playing tricks here. Okay, and what I mean by that is that, if you guys may not know, the P4 world, it's based on well, of course you all know that Japan has a lot of like deities, like celestial beings, deities, all of that, right? Okay, so even even Izanagi, the protagonist persona, okay, is known to be the progenitor of Japan, okay, with Izanagi being the husband and Izanami being the wife. They created Japan, okay. So according to the mythology, right? And of course, they are not they are progenitors of Japan. They're not progenitors of the world. Okay, so like there's like, of course, there's higher beings like Amaterasu, which is like the sun and all. Okay, but in Japan, it is said that every year, in a month, like all the gods will be away, and they say that in this one prefecture is where this 1 month is where all of them will come to play, or like they're all together, and that is supposed to be the land of Inaba. Okay, so that's why like we have not only for our protagonist is without the Izanagi, right? Okay, the rest they do have like Japanese folklore like Konohana Sakuya, okay, Jiraiya, the frog and everything. Okay? But if you manage to get them to 10, they will like unleash their full persona, where I kind of forget everything. Okay, I kind of forget everything about the awakened state. Okay, the awakened persona, the second awakening, and the second awakening, like we do have like all of them are based on deities as well, instead of just like Japanese folklore. It becomes Japanese mythology, like the deities. Okay, so that's why I assume like it could be one of the gods, like you know who, playing tricks on them. Could be, but then I also think like they might have a hand in it, but the mysterious voice we heard that tried to take control of Labris is a part of the Kiryu group, maybe one of the researchers. Okay, and what's curious is that, like, I assume that one of the researchers is Edogawa Sensei. Could he be the reason? Could this be the reason why Edogawa Sensei didn't appear in P5? Is what I'm thinking. The Midnight Channel, the TV where we helped to restore it, it ended up being used by someone else in the Labris incident. Labris is the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, a girl with mechanical body who was stolen from the Kiriju group, one of Japan's biggest conglomerates. Someone threw her in the TV world. Yeah, this is also another thing. Naoto was here during the plane hijacking, right? She did saw like a Labris-like figure in one of those when she was doing her patrols. But Labris faced her other suppressed stare. I'm like, why is there a comma? Her other suppressed self there, and by accepting it, she awoken to her persona. That most likely wrapped things up. However,
結局さ、ラビリスをテレビの中に入れた犯人って誰なんだろう。目的もわかんないままだしさ。
最初はクマの人気に嫉妬した犯人が仲良しのクマたちを仲間割れさせようとしてると思ってたクマ。
うん。でもそうじゃなかった。仲間同士を戦わせることで心を乱してシャドウに戻したペルソナを集めるのが目的だったんだよね。
あ、そうだな。ナオトはそう言っていた。
戻して集めるっつったってなこと簡単にできるもんなんすかね。
わからない。だが犯人がその方法で強いシャドウを集めようとしていたのは事実だ。
シャドウを集めるか。何にしろそんなのまともな目的じゃねえよな。
the atmosphere darkens after Yosuke's remark. During the silence, I recall the events leading up to yesterday. We had once again entered the TV world to figure out why the Midnight Channel was broadcasting again. What we found there was a strange fighting tournament called the P-1 Grand Prix. At the heart of it was Labris. Having gone through severe trials as a weapon with her heart, she gave birth to her shadow, the fresh version of herself which twisted her dreams and wanting to be a normal schoolgirl. It all resulted in P1 Grand Prix, designed to pit people against their friends. After we entered the TV, we got wrapped in a battle just like Labris' Shadow's plan, and we were forced to fight one another. But we met members of the mysterious organization known as the Shadow Operatives, who were in search of Labris and their leader Kirijo Mitsuru, who's CEO of the Kirijo group. It was with their help that we conquered the tournament. They were using the power personas before we were. It was reassuring in a way to meet people who deal with shadows day in and day out. This is like what I feel is missing, you know? Like I do wish this is considered as canon. Okay? So that we're gonna see like there's going to be like an organization, and Shadow Opera didn't even like make a peep out of it, right? But then I have problem with playing Persona 5 Strikers where I couldn't play it properly. I don't know why. It's not optimized to the PC, so I don't know fully, but I did look at the synopsis. It seemed like the police were involved, so I assume that those police officers, they might know something about the Shadow Operatives. But the case isn't over yet. We couldn't find out why the culprit put Labris in the TV to begin with. We don't even know who did it. Mitsuru-san and her people seem to have some idea, but that doesn't mean we can ignore what happened in our town. So we made the decision to investigate the case on our own too.
そういえば、テレビの中はどうなってる？
The thought suddenly crosses my mind, so I asked Teddy. After we settled the first case, the TV world turned into a beautiful place, but it wasn't that way anymore during the P1 Grand Prix. I wonder what happened there after we saved Labris.
まだそのまんまクマ。そのうち元に戻るとは思うけど、P1 グランプリの影響が強すぎて、まだざわざわしてる。
Yeah, the case is not solved.
でもね、でも。
あ？でもなんだよ。ちまちま言ってねえではっきり言えっつの。
はっきりわからないけど、シャドウみたいな、そうじゃないような、なんか変な気配があるんだ。
変な気配？なんかその変なのがいるってことか。
The deities?
クマにもよくわからない。
なんだろう、今回の事件の犯人とか？
そうかもしれないし、そうじゃないかもしれない。
We all look at each other after hearing Teddy's evasive answer. If something's in the TV world, it can only be a shadow, someone besides us who knows about that world, or someone who can use a persona.
でもおかしくないか？今回の犯人ってペルソナ使いじゃねえんだよな。
ラビリスの事件の時、自分ではテレビの中の世界に入れないから代わりにラビリスを利用したって言ってた。
That's right, the only people who can enter the TV world are persona users. For a normal person to get in, they would have to enter alongside a persona user. If someone who doesn't have a persona falls in, for whatever reason, they are in serious danger, either the shadows already dwelling there or their own shadow might end up killing them.
じゃあ熊高の言ってる変なのっつうのは今回の犯人じゃねえってことっすかね？それとも今回の犯人はペルソナ使いでもねえのにテレビの中に誰かを突き落とせるとか？
I can understand Kanji's doubts, but unfortunately we don't have enough information right now. Say either way.
もう一つ気になることがある。
気になること？
ああ、実は。
But I tell everyone what Naoto left with me yesterday. He said that when Mitsusan's plane was hijacked as a diversion from Labris kidnapping, the hijackers had no memory of their actions. They might have been brainwashed or hypnotized, but either way, it could have been done by a normal person. Well, not entirely a normal person.
ああ、だが犯人の目的が何だったにしろ、 狙いが俺たちやテレビの中の世界なら放っておいてこのまま事件が終わるとは思えない。
うん、そうだね。あ、でもじゃあやっぱり
へへ、まあ桐城さんには悪いけど関わるなって言われたのはなしってことで。
And Mitsu's sign that people left, they told us not to get involved any further with this case. We knew why they said that, of course. They were worried about our safety, but still.
いいっすね。特別捜査隊再始動っすか。
なんか桐城さんに悪い気はするけど、あの人たちだって戦ってるんだし、そんなのやっぱほっとけないじゃん。私たちだって戦える。しかもこの町のことだもん。私たちがやんなきゃだよ。
クマもやる。だってクマはラビちゃんのナイトだから。それにせっかく先生たちが平和にしてくれたクマの世界をあんな風にされたらクマも黙ってられないね。
I know they felt this way, but I nod firmly after seeing everyone still in
決まり
agreement.
だな。
あと変なキャッチフレーズのお礼もしなきゃ。
Oh yeah. Everyone looks away briefly after hearing this. Those nonsense nicknames that got broadcast during the P1 Grand Prix made no small stir in our daily lives. Although personally,
思い出してもムカつく。女を捨てた肉食獣ってどういうこと？私あれから微妙に避けられてる感じするし。
そうかな。俺はむしろ感心したけど。
huh?
なるかみくん、私の印象どうなってんの？
いや、そうじゃなくて。
そういやお前鋼のシスコン番長気に入ってたもんな。
気に入ってたんだ。
先生、新たなお名前に目覚めたクマ。クマ番長ってお呼びした方がいい？
Shiscon Hogai. I wonder if it's just my mention what Yosuke just said now hurt worse than the nickname. All I meant was that No's nickname word. Dude, you need to go and check yourself, man. You need to go and check yourself. Did you not hear your nickname? Hagane no Shiscon Bancho. The die-hard... The Siscon delinquent. You don't think that's bad? Oh my god. It seems he really is into it. Still, I mean, I was honestly impressed at how precise those taunts were instructing each one of our hang-ups. Yeah, but you should be pissed at least.
それにしてもとんだゴールデンウィークになっちまったな。せっかくお前が来てくれたのにさ。
ほんとっすよ。マジ狙ったみてえに先輩が帰ってきた日に事件起きやがって。
Everyone knows that Kanji's word. Everyone except Yosuke. Unlike the others, he just shoots me a slightly bleak glance. I know what it means, but I let him say it.
やっぱちょい引っかかるよな。
Yeah,
何よ、花村。
あ、いや、
on the
なんつ
day
う
he
か
came
そ
back.
のタイミングまるで鳴神が来るの待ってたみたいなさ。
I agree with him. The incident with Lab is happening right when I returned to Inaba for Golden Week. It was timed as if whoever set this up was waiting for me to get back in town.
今考えることじゃねえか。そういや、マリーちゃんって今どこにいるんだ？
相
Mari.
変わらず神出鬼没だよ。この間も惣菜大学で何か買ってたみたい。
Yeah, but didn't she become like the weather channel lady? She should be dead, right? That's I miss. Well, Mari is not in my top 3. At best, she's at top 5.
え、先生来るってマリちゃんに教えてあげてないクマ？
いや、マリーちゃんのことだし、なるかみくんが帰ってきてることは気づいてると思うけど。
Mari, she was another one involved in the first case we solved here in Naba. We helped her regain her lost memories, and now she now protects this town as a minor goddess who supports the townspeople here.
あ、じゃあなんで姿見せねえんすか？あいつのことだし、先輩来てるっつったら速攻すっ飛んできそうなのに。
It's curious, right? Uh-oh.
何雷なんで急に
Uh-oh.
うわすっげえ雨雲。こりゃ
Kanze.
完全に一雨来そうだな。
That's when I noticed that the thick crowd of customers here has gotten pretty sparse. As if following the families hurrying back inside, we also get up from our seats.
最近全然天気予報当たんないじゃん。あ、ごめん、私の。もしもし。あ、笠井さん。
Kasai-san, if I'm not mistaken, she's one of their helpers in the Amagi Inn, one of the workers. Okay, and just want to say about Mari. She supposedly already have a job with the local weather as the weather lady. Okay, even after like it's only been 2 months or so. So wait, is it 2 months or like 4 months? I kind of forget because like after a while we do see you came back and then like everybody kind of have an image change, like especially Chie, Nanako is still like roughly the same as what she appears in P4, but at the end of the epilogue for Golden, we did see that most of their hair is let out, and even Kanji still have an image change. We move away from Yukiko to give her some space to talk.
そういや、ラビリスってロボットなんすよね。雨に濡れちまったら錆びたりしねえのかな。
いや、そんなに安い作りじゃねえだろ。開発元があの霧状グループだからな。
さすがみっちゃんグループ。
みっちゃんグループ。
中熱の電化製品とは大違いだね。
うっせえな。さりげなく自分の働いてる店ディスってんじゃねえ。
Inosuke and Teddy snap at each other. Jie gazes up the cloudy sky, and she noticed me looking at her. She shakes her head, telling me not to worry.
ラビリス、キリジョーさんたちと一緒なんだよね。頑張ってるかな。
After the P1 Grand Prix, Labris joined Mitsuru-san's shadow operative since she has a persona now. Even as we speak, she and her companions are probably chasing the culprit who threw her into the
大
TV.
丈夫だ。うまくやっているさ。うまくいけばすぐに会える。
Maybe that's why, like, like, I did show several times, like, like, episode P4, it's like broken into 3 different branches. So it could be the main branch is us. The other branch is from the shadow operative side. The other one is when at the Velvet Room it says like a new guest came in. Yeah, since we made our decision to stick our noses into this case, that means we are after the same thing Labris and the shadow operatives are. It seems possible we might meet up with Labris again somewhere soon. Then again, we're doing this without Mitsuru-san's permission, so I can't say I'm eager to run into them.
そうだよね。いかんな。私心配性でさ。
お、天城先輩、電話終わったみてっすよ。
ああ、ユキコおかえり。電話何だったの？うん、旅館から団体のお客様が外に出たままなんだって。傘の用意とかしてなかったから濡れて帰る人が多いと思う。ごめんね、ちょっと戻らないと。ああ、そっか。天城屋旅館も書き入れ時だもんね。
つか、俺らも戻った方がいいんじゃねえっすか。この分じゃ絶対夜まで雨っしょ。
だな。雨か。まさか映んねえよな。あれ。
Sorry about that. Sorry, coughing fit. Everyone turns around and Yusuke's words. He said that thing, but we all know what he means. He's talking about the midnight channel, which came on at midnight on rainy day. The weather was just like this during the incident with Labris too. And just to break the silence, we hear another roll of thunder, closer than the one a moment ago.
とにかく明日もう一度集まってテレビの中の様子を確かめよう。
じゃあ明日もここで集合だね。リセちゃんにも連絡しておくから。
あ、じゃあ私は直人君に。まあ来られるかどうかはわかんないけど。
そんじゃまた明日っす。
You know, seeing this, like, I always compare it to P5, right? Because P5, like, I get they're not from the same place, right? Because most of them, like some of them, like, they're not even in the same class, they're not even in the same school. So it does feel like they're all apart, but they don't even have much. They don't even have like much, like, time they will talk together just like this. This is why, like, I feel P4 really feels like they're a close-knit group. We hastily ended the investigation team meeting before it starts raining. As I see Yosuke starting to leave after everyone else, asking about the issue he raised earlier.
どうも。事件が起きたタイミングのこと。
いや、考えすぎかとも思うんだけどさ。もし今回の犯人がお前のことを知ってるとしたら、お前心当たりってあるか？
It was an understandable question, but I can't help but look askance at him. If the culprit has investigated me, of course he knows something about me, but not my plan to stay in Inaba during Golden Week. It'd have to be a person who knows me, plus knew the MCUP was coming here during the break. Is there anyone who know all that? Well, Yosuke knows. Dojima-san? Dojima-san will definitely have to know, because Dojima-san is gonna be like, you know, he's gonna welcome him. Nanako should as well. Most of the team members don't know.
足立って可能性は。
足立さんが
This time, yeah, it could be. Dojima may talk to Adachi. This time I'm caught completely off guard, and all I do is dully repeat the question. Adachi Toru, the man who was arrested in Midnight Channel murders. He should be in police custody now, which is ironic since he used to work for my uncle as a police detective at Inaba Station. We do have quite a history, so obviously he knows about me, and I can't rule out that Dojima-san might have told Adachi-san about my vacation
いや
plans.
あの人じゃないだろう。あの人はペルソナが使える。
まあ、だよな。悪い、なんか変なこと聞いちまって。
Yosuke tone is apologetic and he stretches his head. But really, I should be the one apologizing. I couldn't just deny it could have been Adachi just because he's a Persona user. The real reason is that deep down I trusted what Adachi-san said about abiding by the rules of this world. But if it's not him, then who? The grey clouds fill the sky over our heads, mirroring the confused anxiety we shared. And a crash hole. Okay, so we're going through episode P4, the continuation of Persona 4 Arena. It feels, for me, I see this as more of a visual novel rather than like a fighting game.
それでね、参観日にお父さん来てくれて、ナナコちゃんと手を挙げて問題に答えたんだよ。
おい、ナナコ。お前、その話もうこれで3回目だろう。
そんなことないもん。
Nanako, who had been talking non-stop throughout dinner, sulked at Dojima-san pointing that out. Whether or not she will admit it, though I definitely heard that story several times. Either parent visiting day made her happy, or she was looking for any excuse to prolong our conversation. Okay? Yeah. It does have a good story. Okay? But the P4A, because like this is the second part it seems like there's 3 parts. So P4A is kind of draggy, okay? It's because like, how should I say this? It's a fighting game, right? So each one of the characters that fight have their own route, but their route is like similar to each other, but they might give you a little bit more information, okay? For me, you like that one, you might get bored through if you want to go through each one of the routes from beginning to the end. Just that if you focus on like a couple of characters, you get the idea for it, okay? And it seems that that now this is the second part of the story, episode P4. Like episode P4 is that they're trying to rectify that because there's a lot of like this how should I say this, narration interlude or whatever. Okay, there's a lot of narration here, and P4 they're trying to minimize that and have more of the character stock. From what I see now, which is like a much better visual novel feel to it. I would like of one whole character route. Like I take my time to read all of them. One character route fully will take you around 3 hours to 4 hours, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12 characters. Yeah, but you're gonna feel tired out because there's 12 characters, so 4 hours each. So you time by 12. That's close to 50 hours, and it's just like minor variation, except for some special characters. Okay, so without a doubt, under U side you're gonna see like more because he have dealings with the Velvet Room, right? And then you also have the P3 members who join in. Like you're gonna have a little bit extra with Mitsuru and Aegis, and then like with the additional characters, which is Labris. Okay, Labris one is pretty good. Labris one is totally completely different. Like it gives a solid 4 hours. Well, whichever it is, Nanako seems happy, so I don't mind much. Mitsuru. A really long car? That rings a bell. She must be talking about that extravagant black limousine that Mitsuru-san and her... Wait, oh, it's us. I thought it was Dojima, who's is from Dojima's perspective. Extravagant black limousine that Mitsuru-san and her shadow operators drove in on.
街中走り回ってたリムジンのことか。話には聞いてる。こんな田舎にバカでかいリムジンか。ま、この街の人間じゃねえな。
Dojima-san shoots me a glance while responding to Nanako's statement. He's a detective true and true. I think he's noticed something up. Shit. Sure enough, after Dojima sends Nanako to the sink with the empty dishes, he gets right down to business. Oh crap. I assume you're Japanese because I think because of the voiceovers. Not really. I'm not Japanese, but I do have certain level of proficiency in Japanese. Like without a doubt that I play, like English is a language that I'm much better at, but Japanese, well, let's just say that I'm able to stream in Japanese, although with some minor difficulties, okay? But I'll say one thing, like I assume that you play, you know, since you play Persona, and of course you might have heard metaphor, right? Okay, and the metaphor, like the translation to me, it's super annoying. Okay? I played the demo version, and the demo version annoyed the heck out of me to the point that like, okay, I can't take this anymore. I'm playing in Japanese, even though I was suffering through a little bit, but I get a much better understanding. I get a much better understanding of the story, about the narrative, and like the minor and subtle like things that I think that normal translation will miss. Okay, and being that, because the translation was quite horrible, like I'm thinking of playing Persona 4 in Japanese, okay? Because the only thing that saved Persona 4 for me is the Japanese voice acting. Because, well, one thing is that I don't like the level of English voice acting. Second is that they try to localize it. In other words, like they try to fit the settings to a Western audience, and they don't do it that well. Okay, most people like to say, oh, when they translate, like they put in a lot of like the DEI and everything, but it's not that. It's the accuracy of the translation. Yeah, I learned Japanese. Okay, so if you're able to understand what they say, and then you compare it to the text that they have, you'll be like, hey, isn't it a bit off? Okay, like P4, the biggest like annoying translation for me is that, I don't know if you remember this, is that there's a time where the girls would cook, and then like they asked the guys to taste test it, and Kanji taste tested Reese's cooking, and he said, hey, this feels boneless. In Japanese, it's fumo. Fumo means like unexplainable. Okay, like you can't put a word on it, but they translate it as boneless, which is like, you can see that they jumped through several hoops to get that. Okay, so this is what I mean. This is what I mean by they, like, when the translator, they try to translate, they'll go through like jump 2 or 3 times, then you get them. Then that's what you get. So that's why, like, I feel you don't really get the smooth transition from the Japanese writing. Okay, so when I played Metaphor, it was pretty smooth. Okay, it was pretty. It's smooth like butter. Like, I didn't even like say anything about the writing. I just that me, whenever I stop like to talk, it is usually because of me trying to speculate stuff. Okay, so moving on, like, I feel like for me to really get what the feel of the game, Japanese JRPG, I feel like I want to play in Japanese. Sure. What are you looking for?
で、お前、今度は何やってんだ?
There's no hiding anything from that piercing gaze. He has to know we came in contact with Mitsuru-san's people. They were so dignified seeming that I had hoped even their outrageously long limo wouldn't stand out here, but I find myself actually relieved to be mistaken.
お前が帰ってくるって日に急に本庁のデカがあの事件のことを根掘り葉掘り聞きに来た。
Ah, shit. This is Kurosawa-san. I'm starting to college next month. I'm very excited but scared at the same time. Okay. And by the way, like, usually when you go for college, you need to like take like additional language, right? During your diploma degree whatsoever. Like, take Japanese if you like it. I don't know how to read Japanese. Until I start taking my degree, right? So I take a short course in that, basically super basic Japanese, and from then on I played games, and that's how I improve. So what you see me like streaming in Japanese is because the foundation is during my college days, and then I learn more when I get out of college. Yeah, and then like I play games and improve my Japanese at the same time. It's like killing three birds with one stone. I get to learn Japanese, I get to improve myself, and I can enjoy myself at the same time. So, like, it may be hard. It may be hard because for me, like, I only know how to read alphabets until my 20s. Okay, I don't know any other writing styles, so it was hard, but I stick to it until the end. And if you see my other Japanese, if you see myself, like, I do have Japanese streams, I talk everything from A to Z in Japanese, even though I might suffer from it from time to time. Okay, so that's just like a minor personal thing. If you're into like Japanese anime and stuff, so use that to help you, like, if it's a skill that you can learn and you can do it without much of a hassle because you don't feel like you're being forced to. That's just a minor stuff, minor advice I would like to say.
ついでにここ数日何度も署で白金のやつを見かけてる。この辺りは全部偶然ってやつなのか。
Any, you want to follow up with that? Like, I did cut you off halfway.
それは
答えられないか。まあいい。
Dojima-san gives me a deep sigh and closes his eyes. That's odd. Normally he grill me for more information and yell at me while doing it.
いいか。お前のことは信頼しているが、それとこれとは別だ。危ないことには首を突っ込むんじゃない。俺はデカでお前の保護者も同然だ。分かってるんだろうな。
His strict yet honest gaze asks me to promise that much in return for not probing any further. I say yes, but in my mind, I'm apologizing at the same time. We're heading into dangerous waters, but it's the same as the situation when I live here. We have to be the ones to do
分かっ
this.
てるなら好きにやれ。
I can't help but smile at Dojima-san's look. I can't help but smile at seeing Dojima look away and sigh. I'm sure that he's not asking million questions about everything I'm doing, but he's not asking about them. It's because he trusts me.
お父さんまたお兄ちゃんいじめてる。
そうじゃない。
Nanako Baria.
話をしてただけだ。
本当？お兄ちゃん。
ああ、大丈夫だ。
ナナコはいつでもお兄ちゃんの味方だからね。
When I answer her with a smile, Nanako looks up at me with a worried expression, but her reply is earnest. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Dojima-san looking uncomfortable, and I can't help but laugh again. When I return to my room, I can hear the faint rumble of thunder in the distance. The rain that was pouring down this evening has already stopped. If the pattern holds, Midnight Channel should stay quiet as long as it's not raining. It's gonna rain. Realizing that raises some complex feelings in me. I have to go back home tomorrow. Wait, what? And as much as I'm hoping nothing happens, I want to resolve this mystery while I'm still here. So this is like probably like close to midnight. So he's saying like the day after, maybe. But wishing to solve the case means wishing for something to happen.
矛盾してるな。
Are you streaming on other platforms like Twitch? Not really. I'm just streaming on here on YouTube. Okay. Like, it's a bit of a hassle. Like, I do have work and everything, like setting it up. I could do it, but I don't want to put too much on my plate, you know? I inadvertently glanced towards the TV screen's reflective surface and catch myself with an odd smile on my face. Out of habit, I checked the time, and the moment I look back at the TV, the screen suddenly turns on. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's normal.
P1 の勝利の女神が今このリングに舞い降りた。
Wait,
準備はいいか P1 ファンよ。準備はいいか。
didn't we finish this? Didn't we finish this?
前回大会 P1 グランプリ出場者が続々参戦。
Wait, round 2?
世界に冠たる P1 のリングで選手たちが再び伝説を築き上げる。己の意地と意地が交錯し火花を散らすこの戦い。ある者は誇りをかけ、またある者は名声をかける。求められるは冴え渡る頭脳か磨き上げた肉体か。さあ盛り上がってまいりました。
What the fuck?
最強の称号を今宵その胸に輝かせるのは
Wait, Labris is in it as well?
栄光の歴史に燦然と輝き語り継がれゆく者は果たして誰か。つわものどもが夢の後グランプリ最終章諸行無常の P1 クライマックス間もなく。
It's awesome watching anime. This is weird. It's an evolution of P4 Arena.
もしもし。おい。
Well, at least it's not as bad as the last one. Oh. Shit. Shit.
あれ
What the? What is he doing here?
なんやマーチが赤い霧。
What the? Did you see that? That was Junpei and Yukari.
やっほーい。全国の P1 野郎どもお待たせしまったわ。
Isn't that Labris' shadow? Like, we did defeat her. Well, it's not saying we defeat her. It became Labris' persona. Then again, General Teddy is very weird because, like, he acts like this, but when something unpredictable happened, he did have like this robotic expression on him. The TV shows the familiar classroom. If I remember right, that's the announcement room at the school Labris created inside the TV world during the P1 Grand Prix. It's not them. It's not them. It's the because in P4A Persona 4 Arena, the case was not closed. Okay, because the story revolves around Labris. Okay, it's like we have to retrieve Labris, but at first we thought like Labris was behind all of was the mastermind of the P4A, but it turns out like there's another unknown voice that is the mastermind. Okay, so we don't know about who this person is, and even at the last moment at P4A, that mastermind even like take control of Labris, but we have no ways of reaching them because we are in the TV world, and that guy, he's controlling Labris remotely from outside the TV world. This is why like the case is not closed. Standing in that announcement room is General Teddy, actually just his head trotting away.
P1 クライマックス、それはクライマックスの名にふさわしい貼り付け怠慢世界滅亡ですムワッチ。なんと1時間のうちに怠慢勝負で勝ち上がんなきゃ世界が滅亡しちゃうクマよ。非常に気
勘違いしないように言っておくが、今回の舞台はテレビの中などではない。
This is not the voice of the mastermind at the end of P4A.
お前たちが暮らす紛れもない現実だ。せいぜい楽しむといい。
そんではここで特別に特設ステージの状況をお見せしましょう。
The story is not that complex. It's way simpler than P4. Is this place again? Oh, all of them are captured. Okay, Mitsuru's site is captured.
キリジョーさんか。
Mitsuru san is captured.
さて、囚われの女王とその下僕どもの運命やいかに。
So, the mole is on the shadow operatives.
まあ、どっちにしろ誰も立ち上がれなきゃみんな一緒にさよならだし、寂しくないくまね。ではでは、諸君の健闘を祈る。
I assume the person behind this is Edogawa sensei. I assume. The display cuts off abruptly and the TV becomes a silent box. Realizing that a strange red light is filling the once dark room, I dash towards the window. The town outside is covered in an eerie red fog.
なんだこれは。
Oh yeah, and it seems that what they want to do is to turn back personas back into shadows. Wait, I just remembered. God damn! Don't tell me. This is the dark hour. Because remember, dark hour, you cannot use electronics. Okay? Like even like Mitsuru's bike in P3, it's a specially made motorcycle that uses analog, so like there's no electricity running through it. It's all analog based. So could this be dark hour? Because it is midnight channel, right? So it comes out at midnight, and what happens at midnight as well? Dark hour, right? The streets are off and I don't sense anyone's presence. That hazy light illuminating the town, it's the red fog. Seeing the town in such an obviously abnormal state snaps me back to my senses, and I quickly look back into my room. If it's a dark hour, it makes sense because they were calling, like they were having a call, right? Yosuke and you, right? It suddenly get cut off. It makes sense if like that's the moment dark hour came to place.
ナナコ、堂島さん。
Please tell me it's a coffin. Coffin? No one answers. I rush downstairs and check all the rooms, but no matter how hard I look, the two who live here are nowhere to be found. What in the world is going on here? P-1 CLIMAX? Are Mitsuru-san and her people are really captives? And worst of all, this isn't a TV world. Is this really still the real world? If so, what happened to the townspeople? A wave of confusion and fear crashes over me as I sort through the information at hand. My cell phone won't even turn on. It's like it's suddenly broken. It's happening again.
ジュネスのフードコートだ。
That's right. Whenever we had a case, that's where we will always gather. If Yosuke, Chie, and Yukio have noticed this too, they'll definitely be headed there. Yeah, this is something that I feel like, okay, P5, if this happened to them, they would probably be heading to LeBlanc. But still, it's like, P4 team, they'll be like, you don't even need to say anything. Everybody will be thinking the same thing. Teddy should be Yosuke, so there's no need to worry about him. Kanji though, he might head straight into the TV. I chuckled to the thought, a rare moment of humor in this looming crisis. I know where I need to be, so I quickly prepare myself. Wherever we need to fight, I was always clad in my Yasogami Haya uniform. To think that I'll be wearing it again so soon. You know what would be You know what would be funny? If P6, right? P6 probably gonna come out in like next 2-3 years or something like that. 26, 27, 28, something like that. Okay, so P4 it came out in 2010, but they taking the P4 Golden as the new canon, so it should be 2012. So if it come out in let's just say 27, 28, right? It's like 16 years after the events. Okay, so that means like you would be he'll be like in his 30s, right? And imagine if he's still like using his persona power. Do you think he's gonna be wearing his Yasogami High uniform? Because if he does, it'll be funny, like a guy in his 30s wearing school uniform. Pretty awkward. It's with a sense of trepidation that I opened the front door. Where? Wait. Ooh. Ooh. So it's Naoto and Ise. I think like this is when everybody will get together. So we're gonna watch this in a while. Let me just go through it. It seems like the members might split into two later on. And then like here. Why does this side? I think this one is like the choices are gonna make. Oh well. Let's check her out first. We say something. I think I'm gonna take some water, man. I ran out of water because I cough a lot. Okay, I'm back. I raise one arm towards the mirror-lined wall and close my eyes. In my mind, I see a stage that the hazy shadow of a band, glow sticks of all different colors shine in the packed seats. I'm looking at them for my mark, indicated with a spot of fluorescent paint. The moment the countdown hits 0, a spotlight comes on. I reach towards the flooding light and become one with the stage. Oh. Since when are we going into Idol Master right now? Oh. As I calm my breathing and look towards the clock to check how long the performance took me, I see where its two hands are pointing, jolting me back to reality in a hurry.
今日バイクじゃないんだった。終電間に合うかな。お疲れ様です。お先に失礼します。
Why is she wearing her school uniform? I hurriedly address the people I pass as I fly out of the studio. As a mad dash to Okina Station. Oh, Okina Station. That's quite close to Inaba. I barely make it to the stop train. Uh-oh. Will they realize? I take a breather as the train slowly pulls out. The last train on a holiday is usually pretty empty, so I sit in an open seat and get my tunes from my bag. There's a new song on there they just gave me this afternoon. Today felt so long for some reason.
予定よりだいぶ遅くなってしまったね。時間大丈夫かい？
Ah, it's the manager.
平気なのに。
そういう問題じゃないよ。僕は君のマネージャーなんだ。
But didn't he isn't he like also in charge with like Rise's like another competitor? The reason Inoue-san seems so happy is because of the news we got earlier. When our president called us back to the office from the shoot today, we were greeted with a new song for me and a detailed plan for my comeback.
それにしても、社長があそこまで綿密にリセちゃんの復帰計画を練ってたとは知らなかったな。
気持ちはありがたいけど、私まだ自分がそこまで準備できてると思えない。
そんなことないよ。リセちゃんの頑張りはみんなが知ってる。以前より格段に力もついてるし、僕は社長の判断は正しいと思う。
井上さん、
Isn't it a bit too
これ
rushed?
お世辞？
そんなつもりはないよ。今日もらった新曲だって少しレッスンしただけで歌いこなせてた。振り付けだって短時間で覚えて。
全然ダメ。ステップに気を取られて何度も音外したし、ターンも綺麗に決まらなかった。まだまだ全然だよ、私。
It's true, even as far as discussion of my comeback goes, if Inoue-san hadn't come up with an excuse for why he couldn't get in contact with me until yesterday, the plans would have sunk.
リセちゃん、何かあったのかい？
Of
君が
course.
僕に踏み込ませない部分を持ってることは知ってる。それはいいんだ。アイドルだからってマネージャーや事務所に何もかも全部を話す必要はない。でも教えないことと抱え込むことは違う。前に連休中に休みが取れないか聞いてきたことがあっただろ。今日の呼び出しも最初は乗り気じゃなかった。ひょっとして何か用事があったんじゃないか？
Why did he bring up like Rise was missing for a couple of days? Okay, because Rise was May 2nd was you coming back to Inaba, right? Okay, but that was like in the evening. On the 3rd, on the 3rd is when the 4 of them meet up. You, Yukiko, Yosuke, and Chie. And on the 4th is when they go into the TV world. And now it's supposed to be the 5th. Okay? But before you came back, Rise was missing. So it had to be like at the very latest is like on the 1st of May. Okay? Or maybe a bit longer. Like maybe like April 31st or something. Why didn't he bring that up? Because it's considered as canon she was missing for at least 2-3 days.
そんなことないよ。井上さんは私に気使いすぎ。でもありがとう。ちょっとね、お仕事と関係ないことだけど、自分の無力さを思い知らされたっていうか。
Yeah, she was not able to do anything much in the P4A. So many people are supporting me for my comeback, but no matter how much I throw myself into the rehearsal, All I can think about is how I was nothing but a bird in incident
リ
yesterday.
スちゃん
平気。またやめるって言い出すと思った？休業前よりパワーアップしたら業界で本格指導したいっていうのは変わらないから。
それくらいレッスンを見てればわかるよ。でもそうだね、息抜きは必要かもしれないな。実は出版社から撮影時間の変更を相談されたんだ。リセちゃんは学生だからあまり遅い時間は困ると言ったら、改めて日程を組むって話になった。明日は一日ゆっくりするといい。
井上さん、
その代わり連休明けからは忙しくなるよ。復帰プロジェクトの成功もかかってる。
ありがとう。じゃあ今日は沖縄の駅で降ろして。明日休みならスタジオ寄ってもう少しレッスンしたいし。
でもそうすると遅くなるだろ。このまま家まで送っていくよ。
家だと広さが足りないの。ね、お願い。ちょっと練習したらちゃんと帰るから。
仕方ないな。あまり頑張りすぎないようにね。
分かってる。っていうか井上さんこそ私のことあんまり甘やかしちゃダメだよ。
Is Risa still sticking to you as before? It doesn't seem like she's that clingy to you. Through the train window, I can see the countryside with only a few lights here and there. The train was empty to begin with, and it only gets emptier as we approach. Shit! They did say the final train. So this means it should be at 11 p.m. Okay? Usually, like, most trains, they will stop around 11ish. Like, some may extend after midnight, like maybe at 1 or 2. But usually the final train will be, you know, just right before midnight, okay? And we do know something is gonna happen in midnight, okay? Because we're looking at Lisa's perspective. It's parallel to what we saw just now, but in a different perspective. Oof. Don't tell me that she's gonna stuck inside the train. Through the train window, I can see the countryside with only a few lights here and there. Okay, fine. This holiday was supposed to cap off with just work and rehearsals. Even when I heard Yu Senpai was coming back, I was the one who decided not to change my plans. When I told the others, they say stuff like, "Oh well, work's work, hang in there." Kanji was the only one who acted like a kid. What's more important to you, your work or senpai?
そういえばナオト君も連休中はお仕事だっけ？
I bet Naoto-kun wouldn't get all indecisive about these things. She does. I sigh and take out myself. I notice I have an email.
ユキコ先輩から？
It's a summary of what the investigation team talked about today and the time we are meeting tomorrow.
午前6時にジュネス前？早っ。これ絶対遅刻者出るでしょ。
Yeah. I laugh, but I quickly turn it into a sigh. I have tomorrow off thanks to Inoue-san. And while I'm happy to get to see everyone, I'm a little bummed out too. I couldn't do anything during the incident. I don't remember anything else about that day after I finished shopping for dinner at Junes. When I came to, I was already in the announcement room in the TV world, under the surveillance of General Teddy. Yeah, this is the thing, like, she don't remember anything at all. Kanji, like, right now, what's canon about Kanji is like, we thought that he actually like rolled over and went inside the TV room, but I don't think that's it. I feel like there's somebody. If that's the case, then like there's two ways of this happening, okay? One is like, this is very unlikely, but it's very unlikely. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. Because Kanji was sleeping, right? And if I'm not wrong, like, the mom was not in the shop as well. So somebody could have entered Kanjimi Textiles and pushed Kanji inside. But it could also be somebody in the TV world drag Kanji in. Both of them are unlikely. So, but if those are the two choices, I would imagine somebody went to Atsumi Textiles and drag them in. Since I was captured, they used my voice and likeness to goad everyone into hurting each other. I thought I sounded cool saying that I had work, but I got kidnapped, imprisoned, and watched them use my face and voice to confuse everyone. You senpai will be going back tomorrow. I think about Furuka-san, who had such a tremendous power that she could help me through this group by describing what was going on in the TV world, even from the outside. I wish it could be that useful. Yeah, it is. What the? That was a weird place to cut off the announcement off. All of a sudden, all the lights in the train turned off, and the train that had already begun to slow down to its last stop grinds to a halt. I look out the window to check. A huge red moon dominates the sky. It is the dark hour. And in the direction of the train was heading, there looked to be a giant red cocoon. Is that a fog? I turn around. There's no one in the train. They all disappeared. But this is also like another weird thing compared to Dark Hour. Dark Hour, like, people would turn to coffins, right? Maybe like it's a mix of Inaba's power, like the Inaba Midnight Channel, and Dark Hour. The train car was pretty empty, but I'm positive I wasn't the only passenger before. Thinking I might be able to find something out if I contact someone, I look at the phone. I'm still holding it after checking my email, but it seems to have turned off by itself since the screen remains black. No matter how many times I press the power button, it won't turn on. Apart from the confusion, a sensation I know all too well starts to rise in me. I can't believe it, but there's no mistake. I'm moving before I can think twice. I yank open the door using the emergency lever and jump onto the train tracks. I began running towards Yasuinaba train station. Now's not the time to stay and cower here. To be continued. Oh, it's pretty short. Let's go and see Naoto. The clock's ticking echoes through the room, and I look from the file I hold. It seems I yearn for some material stimulation to distract me from the sheer volume of information I'm attempting to process. But when I look back up, all that's before me are the tall stacks of files I brought in from the reference room. Even when I cooperate with the investigation as a detective, I'm only been in this room a few times. They must have ushered me into the drawing room on the highest floor of Inaba station today in order to send a message. Don't draw attention to yourself. I lower my head to rest my eyes and spend some time thinking back on the conversation I had a short while ago.
なるほど。つまり現在の霧城に後ろ暗い点は見当たらないと。
ええ、霧城充氏と彼女の率いるシャドウワーカーを抑止する材料もその必要性も見当たりません。
The man holding my report falls silent, pondering something. His reaction shows that he most likely foresaw that sort of report I handed. The well-dressed man before me belongs to the National Police Agency, Security Bureau, Security Planning Division, or in brief, the Public Safety Police. Like, I don't trust this guy though. I don't trust this guy. Feels a bit off for me. Like, I wouldn't take my I wouldn't take my I wouldn't take him off the list of like people that I'm suspicious of that is behind all of this. He may not be the mastermind, but he may know something. It was he who requested the undercover investigation into Mitsuru-san's shadow of police.
確かに2を盗んだ犯人に心当たりがあるような素振りだったんだな。
ええ、間違いありません。そもそも犯人は霧城氏ですら正確に把握していなかった荷物の中身を確実に知っていた。つまり事件の犯人は彼女以上に霧城の暗部に近かった人間ということになります。この犯人にどう対処するかで霧城充氏の真意がより明らかになるでしょう。
Half of that is true and half of it is sophistry. I need to discover the trump card that the public safety is hiding. For most likely that trump card will lead us to the culprit of this case, the one who stole Labris and threw her into the TV world. After a moment of silence, the man places a stack of thick folders before me. If he had prepared this in advance, that means he was weighing his options. He knows of my intentions, yet he must have made the decision that they stand to gain what they stand to gain is worth the risk.
何か分かり次第、また報告を。
With that, the man leaves the room. It seems my gamble
分
paid
かる
off.
かどうかは別として何かが起きるのは確実でしょうね。
Labris kidnapper hasn't been caught. The case is ongoing. Even now, there may be development somewhere. My friends on the investigation team must have been having strategy meeting at the food court right now. So it may be a while since any of us have seen Yu Senpai, so the conversation may also have been digressed. May have already digressed. Sighing, I force aside the twinge of loneliness and I drop my gaze to the file that my gamble won.
霧城エルゴノミクス研究所。シャドウを研究する専門の機関か。
What I demanded from the public safety was an investigative document on a Kirijo group research institute which no longer exists. The founder of the institute was Mitsu's grandfather, Kovetsu Kirijo. The contents of the report were foul with matters that were hard to believe. The Dark Hour, a different world populated by shadows that seems to intrude on the real world. The mysterious, almost alien artifacts known as plumes of dust that can induce a personality. Humanoid robots called anti-shadow suppression weapons that were developed to oppose shadows. This bunch of documents is also was given by Mitsuru because using this, she's able to like leverage the police and the government to create the shadow workers. But I doubt like they went through all of it, or like they went through all of it, but they're not that they don't like document it or like note it properly. Humanoid robots called anti-shadow suppression weapons that are developed to oppose shadows. Artificial personnel users who gain the ability with special drugs. This special drug is the Strega. Okay, the Strega were subjected to tests and they became persona users. They are not normally they are not the people from the P3, okay? The main party members. Main party members, they awaken by themselves. But this is artificially, and at times it's gonna be at times these at times like even the persona might want to kill them that bad. Had I not seen Eiji-san and Labris with my own two eyes, the supernatural content of this file would have been ludicrously implausible.
シャドウの反乱とペルソナの発言、僕たちの体験と類似する点も多いな。大きく異なっているのは、それが研究という人為的活動が原因となっていることか。
Sense an unwavering commitment to duty from unwavering commitment to duty from Mitsuru and her team. So they, like us, are persona users. The horror in their form must be why I detected a very different type of resolve
この
from them.
類のことを本人の承諾なしに調べるのは気が引けますが、話してはもらえないでしょうし。
From what I can deduce based on this, the culprit in Lauri's case is without a doubt related to Kirijo and ergo research. The clue that leads to the truth has to be here. And if by chance something were to happen to Mitsuru-san, dang, she already predicted that. Mitsuru-san and her people, we would need to know more about our common enemy.
いくつき修二、エルゴ県解散後、月光館学園理事に就任。みつるさんたちの主人公じゃないか。
Wait, didn't he? He's dead, right?
2009年死亡。死因は学園の天文台からの転落死。自殺か。家族はなし。
There's no other information in regards to him in the documents I gained from the public safety. The simplicity of the section in regards to this Ikutsuki Shuji, an obviously important person, oddly left an impression on me. So you're trying to tell me that it could be. It could be. Because if the police should have write more about that, right? Like a personal profile on him, because how important he is. I finished reading over the materials, but to be honest, it tells me little. Most of the principles involved are already deceased, including Kovetsu Kirijo, Ikutsuki Shuji, and the personal users whose abilities were artificially awakened. Still, I do learn something. The culprit objective in Labri's case had similarities to the purpose of the ergo research. You know, another thing that kind of like bugs me about like Ikutsuki-san is that he doesn't have a persona, right? But he's able to stay awake in the dark hour. So, is he really not a persona user? Like, it bugs me during P3 about this. Like, nobody really touched this. And then, like, when we found out, like, I'm one of the mastermind behind all of this. And, like, everybody was acting shocked. I did feel weird about that. Still, I do learn something. The culprit objective in Labyrinth's case had similarities to the purpose of the ergo research. To deliberately gather shadows in order to fuse them together. This as well. If that was the objective, wouldn't the TV world would have been an ideal place for a test run?
もう一度テレビの中を確認しておくべきかもしれないな。
And I opened my cell phone to share my findings. Scan through they may be. I noticed that the hour is late. It's almost the next day. Yep, midnight.
さすがに電話をかけるには遅いか。そういえば雷が鳴っていたような気がしたけど、雨降ったのかな。
The word rain gave me pause. During the incident with Labris, the Midnight Channel was broadcasting again. If her case is truly ongoing, does that mean it could come on tonight? A bad feeling crosses my mind.
こんな時間に電話。非通知。もしもし。
つながった。探偵さん。ちゃう。白金くんやね。
その声、ラビリスですか。どうしました。
緊急事態なんよ。聞いてや。稲葉に向かってたミツルサナが行方不明なんよ。
行方不明？
せやからみんなで探しに行こう思ったんやけど、シャドウワーカーのラボにようわからん人らが押しかけてきて、逃げれたんはうちだけや。
Huh? They're going to look for him, but these weird guys came barging into Shadow Opera's lab. I'm the one. So that's why Labris was not hanged. That's why she was not crucified with the rest. Because we did see from the we did see from the like PV, the PV of it, we do see like Mitsuru, Akiko, Aigis, and even Fuka was crucified. So I was right. The mole is in the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operative research type was attacked. Could it be the enemy? No, that's not it. This is most likely.
本部に来た人たちの特徴は？
特徴？大勢でスーツ着てはって、なんや紙みたいの見せて、操作がどうとか言うてた気がするけど。
Like, I do feel like the Shadow Operatives is being taken, like, how should I say this? It's being, like, taken over by this unknown group. Just as I thought, public safety. I had my suspicion, but there can be no mistake. It is that guy! I was right! Though the Kirijo group and public safety are formally in cooperation, public safety privately has a low opinion of the Shadow Operatives. Hence, the request that I perform an undercover investigation. They must have found out about Mitsuru-san's disappearance and used it as an opportunity to launch a compulsory investigation. But Mitsuru-san's disappearance, could it really be related to public safety's move? Labris said a moment ago that Mitsuru-san and her people were headed to Inaba. Why? But I think carefully. Sorting through this new information, I asked Labris for more details.
それで今の状況は？
ラボには戻れへんやろ。どっちにしろ、みつるさんがいはらへんとどないしたらいいかもわからへんし、そしたらなんやシャドウワーカーには非常事態にだけ招集される特別な人らがおらはるねんて。さっきそのお人らと合流したから一緒にみつるさんら探しに行くとこやの。
わかりました。僕も協力します。おそらく他の仲間たちも嫌だとは言わないでしょう。みんなでみつるさんを探してみます。
We did see that she was with Yukari. So these are probably like, without a doubt, the Shadow Operatives number 1 is Mitsuru. Aegis is number 5. So number 2, 3, 4 is probably the original P3 members. Okay, so we do have Junpei, we do have Yukari, we do have Akiko, and I think this is an honorary member because Ken is probably too young. Okay, Ken is probably too young because like Ken was only like 10 years old during P3, and assuming that the time for assuming the timing is correct, he should only be like 13, 14, at the best 15. So I don't see Mitsuru like I don't see Mitsuru forcing Ken to be in that to be in the Shadow Operatives because he's that young. But in case anything happens, he is an honorary member and he will have the privilege of joining in the fight.
ラビリス、こちらからも聞きたいことが。ミツルさんはなぜ稲葉に？
確かそっちでシャドウの異常反応が観測されて、その原因を調べるいう話やったけど。
シャドウの異常反応？
An abnormal shadow reading? How did it? Wait. Do they have like a radar for shadows? Do they have a radar for shadow? Abnormal shadow reading. And not only like I would assume that this is like a big facility that can scan, well, I won't say scan, that can detect something like a Richter scale and everything, but for shadows that spread out throughout Japan at the very least. An abnormal shadow reading is detected in Inaba, and Mitsuru-san and her people go missing when they head out to investigate. Even if this is unrelated to public safety matter, you can overlook this detail. Mitsuru-san and her people are persona users, and extremely skilled ones at that. If they are in a situation with no means of contacting help, then whatever enemy they must face must be formidable. And the first such enemy who comes into mind was who kidnapped Labris and forced us to fight in the P1 Grand Prix.
そうですね。 特に思い当たることは。いえ、ちょっと待ってください。
Check the clock on the wall on the drawing room. It's almost midnight. If there was an abnormal shadow reading, the midnight channel could be involved. Uh-oh. I need to find a room for
すみませ
TV.
ん。移動しながら話します。とにかく僕らだけでも合流しましょう。というか、もしかしてその音、ヘリですか？
せや、ようわからはったな。今メイドさんが操縦してはるんよ。
Shit. A personal helicopter and a maid piloting it? I never thought of my family as poor, but thinking back to the limousine that the Kirijo clan seems to be on, the Kirijo clan seems to be on a completely different level.
そうですね。この辺りでヘリが降りられる場所となると。
Uh-oh. As I continue to talk while walking down the hallway, all the lights suddenly turn off. Though it is midnight, this is a police station. There should be several officers still stationed here, even at this hour. However, in defiance of these facts, an unnatural stillness pervades the air. No, that's not it. The roaring helicopter rotors on the other end of the line have also fallen silent. Like I say, electronics are shut down in the dark hour. Okay. Like, I do think we did see like the helicopter was still moving, right? Okay. So like helicopters, they should be equipped with, and of course they need to have electronics, right? But in case if like there's a solar flare, okay, solar flare will actually like messes around with the electronics. So I do think like the main system for helicopter will be on electronics, but the backup system would be would still be like pretty analog, okay? So they don't rely much. The backup system shouldn't rely on the electronics, okay? Because if with the experience with Dark Hour, I think like they will have their helicopters made for this kind of situation. So that's why like when the Dark Hour hits, it didn't kill the helicopter, okay? So that's why they're still able to fly. But then this comes another layer, which is that we do see the normal people, they will be, you know, disappeared during the dark hour, something close to you know, when the dark hour people turn to coffins, but this time people are disappeared rather than turn to coffins. Since the maid that was piloting the helicopter, assuming that she's still piloting it, that means even that maid is supposed to be like, if she's not a personal user, she have the ability to stay awake during dark hour.
Lavis?
My cell phone had gone dead, as if the batteries were drained. I tried a few things, but it won't even turn on. Have all the electronics here stopped working so suddenly? I opened a nearby door to get a better look at my environment. The empty room is hazily lit by an eerie red glow coming from the window. Walking to get a clearer view, I guessed at the sight outside, and obviously Paul has fallen upon this quiet rural town. Seeing the town enveloped in fog, I can't help but remember last year's case. In the foreboding feeling that the situation has taken a turn for the worse, I quickly leave the strangely empty Inaba station. So this is when all of them are gonna meet up. The investigation team is back. The investigation team is back. Wait, I just want to check if there's any more on this side, because I'm curious if we can see. I'm curious if we can see what happened to Mitsuru, which is kind of weird because I assume she should be somewhere here, Because if not, we don't know how did Mitsuru get captured. Oh well. If we see Yosuke,
やっぱ電源入らねえ。街灯も全部消えてるし、一体どうなってんだ？
if we see Yosuke, he's definitely with Teddy. Because Teddy is more like will become something similar to Doraemon for Yosuke, because like Teddy is living inside the closet of Yosuke's room. The Midnight Channel came on again. I call up you and all of a sudden my cell phone gone completely dead. What in the world is happening now? I decided to rush to the floodplain for the time being, but there's not a single soul out in the red fog apart from Teddy, who's running right next to me. Isn't this pretty dangerous?
このまま一生陽介と二人ぼっち？そんなの嫌クマ。なして美女じゃないクマか。
こっちも願い下げだっつの。とにかく今はジュネスだ。急ぐぞ。
おお、クマたちジュネスに向かってたクマか。陽介ったらこんな時までお店の心配なんてなんたる愛車精神。
バカちげえよ。あそこに行きゃ絶対誰か来てるはずだ。何かあった時、俺らはいつもあそこに集まってた。連絡取れねえなら行ってみる価値はあんだろ。
なるほど。じゃあ今頃先生やちえちゃんやゆきちゃんやカンジもきっとジュネスに向かってるクマね。
ああ、いや、カンジはテレビの中に行きそうだけど。
I mean, the guy that went to TV while he was half asleep, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if the first thing he thought was, I better go into the TV right away. Like I say, I don't think that he fall into the TV. Somebody must have dragged him inside. Because if you remember how Kanji got into the TV world in the first place, that he didn't even remember that Namatame dragged him in. Which is kind of weird though, because Kanji is without a doubt buff, right? Because he's able to beat like a gang of biker gangs, okay? And he was able to catch up with them on his bicycle. He was able to catch up with a bunch of bikers on his bicycle. Okay, so he's definitely like strong, right? On top of that, what was it? On top of that, who was it? Namatame. He's basically like, he's a politician, and then like I would say that he's like the standard office guy, you know? So he's not that well built, and it's kind of weird, right? How can skinny, not that muscular guy overpowered Kanji? Even if he tried to use like chloroform and like put him off, wouldn't he still be able to put a fight before that happens? Like, let's say like he's taking the chloroform and putting on his, mouth and nose. Like, Kanji, even with smelling that, breathing that in, he will be able to like, break free with a punch, even though he's at a weakened state, right?
真夜中前に始まるなんて聞いてねえし、しかもカウントダウンとか大晦日かよ。
クマたちテレビの前にいてよかったクマね。見逃してたらわけもわからんうちに世界が滅亡してたかもしれないクマよ。
お前縁起でもないこと言うな。
If I'm remembering right, he said something about a one-on-one battle within an hour, and then there was that short shot of Mitsuru-san and her people on crosses.
あの映像ってマジなのか？キリジョーさんたちがそんな簡単に捕まるとは思えねえけど。
AD を貼り付けにするとか許せんクマ。よすけ、早くみんなと合流してみっちゃんたちを助けに行くクマ。
お前すげえ気合入ってんのな。
そして美女たちから感謝のチッスをもらうクマよ。
そこかよ。お前の頭の中はどんだけ横島な欲望が詰め込まれてんだ。
いやー、陽介だってみっちゃんのナイスボディは嫌いじゃないでしょ。
Who would? Who would? Besides, the way she wear, what? She's basically is wearing like, I wouldn't say that she's wearing latex, but like, it's even thinner than latex, man.
いや、そりゃまあ男なら誰だってって言わすな。
But to be serious, for a second, that lady is way too intense for me. It's not that she just pulled off the queen thing to a T. She totally is one. No wait, now's not the time to be fantasizing about that stuff. It's not.
いきなり止まらんでほしいクマ。クマは急には止まれないってよく言うでしょ。
Teddy's saying stupid things again, but I don't have time to deal with it. I turned to Teddy and mentioned the doubt that hit me just now.
なんかこの霧濃くなってねえか。
It's not just my imagination. The visibility is way worse than when we rush out of the house. This red fog is definitely getting thicker. This is starting to be way too much like last year's case. Then again, that fog that time wasn't red like this.
汚ねえな。なんだよ急に。
だが急に失礼しまクマ。
いいからさっさと鼻吹け。
ところで陽介、
なんだよ。
クマの気のせいだったらいいんだけど、この道ってこんなに長かったクマか。
In spite of myself, I take a quick look around. I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't notice. But why are we running on and on down the floodplain? I can't see too well through the fog, but I don't remember the floodplain going on this long. Oh shit! Are they gonna have to fight? And what little I can see in the distance looks distorted. We're in the TV world. I'm really getting a bad feeling about all this.
今度はなんだよ。
クマ、さっきから嫌な予感がしてるんだけども、この怖い感じを陽介と共有してもいいクマか。
嫌な前置きすんなよ。いいからさっさと言えって。
今クマたちテレビの外にいるはずクマよね。でもここ同じ匂いなんだクマ。
同じ匂い？どことだよ。
だからね、そのテレビの中と。
え？マジかよ。
その消化に吠え、クマっ鼻が無性にムズムズしてきたばい。
鼻？そうか。ってことはお前、みんなの居場所わかるのか？
わからんくもないけど、どうにもこの霧むっちゃ濃くてくっしゃい。
じゃあこっち向いてくしゃみすんな。お前それ花粉症とかじゃねえの？
失礼だ。クマは花粉症などならクマ。さっきからなんかムズムズと。
はいはい、頼りになる花ですね。くそ、なんとかしてみんなと合流しねえと。つっても街中こんなにむちゃくちゃじゃとてもじゃないけどたどり着けねえかもだけどな。
If the town's really become the TV world, then I doubt this road leads to Junas at all. There doesn't seem to be a soul in town. With things like this, are the others really safe?
なんだよ、また何かあったのか？
来たクマ先生にビビッと来たですたい。
I don't know what he's picked up, but Teddy begins running down the riverbank. Wait, what the heck is he doing running all ahead of himself? I hurriedly follow him into the riverbed.
だからな。
Yeah!
誰か来る？
Wait, didn't you see the background?
待たせたな。
ってなるかみ。お前どうやって
It's
ここ
not
に？
him. It's not him.
ちょっと待つかば。
は？クマ、お前何言ってんだよ。
It's not him.
よかったなるかみ。
It's not him.
だったんだな。
It's It's not
や
him.
はりお前はクマと一緒か。
ああ、そりゃそうだけど、お前ちょっと変だぞ。何言ってんだ？
群れなければ生きられないクソ虫ども。
Worthless vermin? Something's not right. You doesn't seem his usual self. In the last P1 Grand Prix, there were times when the other person was hearing something different than what we said. But that was because Tabi's special function was messing with our senses. Could the same thing be happening here?
陽介、違うクマ。そいつは先生じゃない。そいつからはシャドウの匂いしかしないクマよ。
なんだって？
The you here smirks in a totally evil way. Yeah, Teddy's right. This guy definitely isn't you.
気づくのが遅い。さあ、リングインだ。
うわ、なんだ
？When this thing that looks like you raises his hand in the air, 4 glowing red pillars fall from the sky to surround us, lodging themselves in the ground. Teddy has to roll backwards on instinct to avoid getting crushed by one of them. I try to rush over to him, but in the corner of my eye, I see one of the red pillars that give off an eerie glow. The next moment, I ran into an invisible wall. That really hurt. It felt like my nose is going to fall off. This is another thing just like the P1 Grand Prix the other day.
おや、陽介は学ばないクマね。P1 って言ったら勝者しか先に進めないのは当たり前のルールでしょ。さあ、いよいよ始まるクマよ。P1 クライマックス1回戦。みんなの衆、準備はいいクマか？ってよったー。陽介、またもや偽のクマクマよ。
お前、クマ相当？マジかよ。だってお前はラビリスの。
なーにを言っとるクマ。陽介はほんとヘタレンじゃねえ。クマが誰かなんてどうでもいいクマよ。無駄口を叩いていると早々に命を落とすことになるぞ。
Who's this voice though? Who's this voice though? It didn't came out in the, well, it did came out in the last promotional video in the game, but super curious about this. Like it's not the same voice that controlled Labris at the end of P4A.
No.
This isn't good. I sense something and instinctively dive into the side. Dive to the side. After I do a quick roll on the hard ground, I hurry to get back on my feet. I look back to where I was standing to see the sword you swung hitting the exact spot. Holy shit, if that hit me, I would have been practically dead.
P1 でやることといえばたった一つだ。さっさと武器を抜け、陽介。
お前何言ってんだよ。半端になるかみっぽいから惑わされてんだか何なんだかわかんねえんだっつの。
おお、陽介、安心していいクマよ。そこにいるのは先生じゃないクマ。クマの作った真っ赤な偽物ね。だから遠慮なく戦ってきんしゃい。
偽物？
そうクマよ。格闘大会っちゅうのは実力伯仲支離滅裂の緊迫したバトルこそが観客の心を引きつけるんだクマ。お前たちとの決着をつけるためにわざわざこのクマ総統様がシャドウをコネコネして作り上げてやったのよ。
He made this thing? Yikes, the U here looks exactly like the real deal. Where did Gerald Teddy learn that trick? Wait a second, everyone before that, wasn't General Teddy just another form of Labris's shadow? This is what I was saying earlier. But Labris already accepted her shadow and it made it her persona. This doesn't make any sense. As General Teddy speaks, the fake you readies his sword. Damn, he's ready. He really looks like the real one.
お前マジで偽物かよ。の割にはよくできてんじゃんか。
当たり前だ。俺はお前たちのデータから生まれた。実力はお前たちと同等。いや、それ以上だ。それともやはり仲間がいないと何もできないか。キャプテン・ルサンチュは。
この野郎。わざわざ鳴神の姿で人のトラウマえぐってきやがって。けどな、俺はもう惑わされたりしねえんだよ。お前が偽物って分かりゃ容赦しねえ。全力で行くぜ。
生きがってると後悔することになるぞ。ペルソナ。
なんですと偽先生なのにペルソナ出しとるクマ。
うわ、マジかよ。
Dude, that's not fair. Aren't you supposed to be limited to summoning personas in the TV world? I have a short retort all planned, all prepared, but no matter how I look at it, I'm at a disadvantage here. Wait, but hold on. Eddie just said this place smells like the same as inside the TV. Did that mean? Koi, Jiraiya!
早くこっちに逃げるクマ。
クマ、下がってろ。これがマジに P1 だっつうなら、どっちにしろこいつに勝たなきゃ俺らは先へは進めねえ。ただでさえ街がこんなになっちまって迷ってる時間なんかねえんだ。一か八か行かせてもらうぜ。
I close my eye and concentrate on my feelings. You know, in a sense, I do feel like P4 members are stronger than P3 members. Why do I say that? It's because P3 members, they need to use the evokers, right? They need to use the evokers to summon. But P4, since they fight with their shadows and turn their shadows into personas, right? So they already have that resolve in them. So that alone already made them stronger as persona users compared to the P3 members. P5 as well, because P5 like they have to rip off their mask. It's something more or less to P4, but even that, I still think P4 is stronger than P5. Because why? Like, they haven't really accepted themselves, okay? P5 haven't really accepted themselves. They haven't faced their inner self, their inner, what do you call them? Their inner struggles, okay? So, of course, for them to awaken, they need to start facing it, but that doesn't mean that they won. When they reach rank 10, okay? When they reach rank 10, of course, like their persona is gonna like go through a second awakening, right? The second awakening, like they face their inner struggles and they won. Okay, so at the very least, like at rank 10 for P5, they also reached that level. But right before rank 10, if you compare P4 and P5 members, I do think P4 members should be stronger than them in terms of resolve. I have to believe in myself. There's a part of me somewhere that's determined not to run anymore. I will defeat this guy and go to everyone. I will defeat this guy and go tell everyone what's going on. Our first fight after 2 hours. Block. Damn it. Don't catch it. Wait, what? He only got hit once? Oh, damn! Damn it! That just now, I thought I unleashed like a special. Got hit once. What the fuck?
Round final.
I thought that, oh, like, okay, I won. Bravely. Okay. Damn it! No more I missed this. God damn it!
俺の勝ちだ。
The moment I declared victory over the fake you, the red pillars surrounding us shadowed with a tinkling noise. If the P1 rules still apply, that must mean that the invisible walls are gone now. But man, even though he's a fake, it was pretty tiring to fight another Persona user. Every time I clashed with him, my muscles were burning up. My eyes still feel like they are prickling. Huh? Am I that out of shape? I don't believe he's out of shape. The reason why I say that is because, like, he's working at Junes, right? Okay, of course, maybe that he's working a bit, like, on the office side, but he does, like, stack up all the produce, right? It's not, of course, a full-on workout, but that doesn't mean that he's out of shape, right? As if pushing away the red fog, Teddy comes rushing towards me with a tear-stained face and a drippy nose. I open my arms and reflexively dodge him. Dude, what did you expect? You were practically soaking in fog, tears, and snot. I pretend not to notice his offended look and try to come out with something else to talk about. Oh, thought that he's still there. When I turn around, the fake you starts to melt into a black goop before my eyes. The surreal sight leaves me at a loss for words, but not Teddy. Yeah, you see this a bit in the Dark Hour in P3.
Yeah, こいつなる神じゃねえから、このチリ様はちょっとエグすぎるけどな。
Even as we speak, the fake you bubbles up and continues to melt away. Yes, they weren't lying when they say this fake was made with a shadow. Still, just because it's a fake doesn't change the fact that it looks like you. Seeing it dissolve like that makes me feel a little sick. Once the fake new you completely loses its shape, becoming just a black puddle, these particles of light float up from it into the sky.
ねえ、陽介。今のって先生じゃなくてシャドウクマね。
なあ、そうだろうな。少なくともナルカミはいきなり溶けたりしねえだろ。
もうそれもそうクマね。でもね、でも
なんだよ。お前今日歯切れ悪すぎんぞ。
ラビちゃんをさらった犯人はクマたちからペルソナを剥がしてシャドウにするって言ってたクマよね。ひょっとして先生のペルソナが取られちゃってさっきのになったとかは。
ねえ。
なわけねえだろ。つかどうなんだよ。
クマに聞かれても困るクマよ。クマが最初に質問したんでしょう。
No, that's impossible. There's no way he go down so fast. Yep. If he went down, there's no way they'll be able to survive. Because they're that strong. But that fake was really strong, and the way he fought did seem a lot like the real you.
早くみんなを探さねえとやばい予感が止まんねえ。しかし現実でペルソナ使えちまうなんてほんとこの街どうなっちまったんだよ。
およよ。
なんだ。
こりゃあ本物の先生の匂いでしたい。それから別の方にゆきちゃんくは。
マジか。つうか他のやつらは。
もう他はわからんくま。っていうかちょっとまずいかも。二人ともすぐ近くにシャドウの反応があるくま。
If you notice here, like in the how to say this, the story branching plot. Okay, if you see the story branching plot, like this one, it separates into two. Okay, so this is where Teddy and Yosuke separate.
なに？くそ、やっべえな。しょうがねえ。二手に分かれるか。とりあえず全員の無事を確認することが先決だ。それからジュネスで合流すんぞ。お前の鼻がありゃ道に迷うこともねえだろ。
よっしゃー、そうと決まればくまっぱな全開ね。待っててゆきちゃん。あなたのクマが今参りますクマ。
おい、ちょ待ってよ。ナルカミの場所を教えてけっつの。
もうしゃーいゆきちゃん。
I understand that he's worried about you, but the fact that we know one of our friends is like that should be good enough. Unless
このエログマ絶対時給減らしてやっかんな。
to be continued. So here is where it separates. Okay, so this side. Oh? Oh? Ah, so he went to here. I thought this is where it's gonna branch off to Kuma over here. Oh well. We can go here, but this one's two down. I think from now, what we're gonna do is that our focus, like it seems that we're gonna go through all of this, right? We're not gonna like go through one route to the end, okay? Well, maybe up until here, okay, up until here and here, we'll finish this side, okay, for example. But if possible, I don't want to jump ahead on one side. I want it to be balanced so that we can see both sides here. Okay, if we really like went into this branching point over here, if we went to this branching point, we watch it to the end, like this one, and then we go down here. Okay, so it's like try your best to like cover this, to get everybody to see other perspective at the same time what happened. We're gonna be in the Velvet Room? What the heck? And remember, in the beginning of the story, it seemed like another visitor went into the Velvet Room. Who was it?
ようこそベルベットルームへ。
I know that voice. When I look around, I see an endless blue space that I come to know well. It's the Velvet Room, a place where the ceiling, floor, and even the walls are deep azure. It exists between mind and matter, and not far away from me sits two figures.
驚かせてしまったかしら？
いや、しかし。
I'm sure that I opened the front door to leave for Jonas. I don't remember it ever connecting to the Velvet Room before. Or is this a
本
dream?
日はこちらから用向きがあってお呼び立ていたしました。マリー。
She's here? She should have been the weather lady. What the heck is she still wearing this?
私が頼んだの。私、今ちょっと手が離せないから。
Hmm? 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 Another figure steps forth when Margaret, the resident of this room, calls out to her. Mari, or rather the minor goddess who now protects the town, speaks cryptically of a crisis. But shouldn't she absorb Izanami and became like her own? Well, she did become a goddess. Maybe because not many people worship her? But she is becoming like the weather lady, right? If she gains more followers, wouldn't she also grow in power as well?
何かあったのか？
この部屋のルールで詳しいことは話せない。けど気づいてるでしょ。今この町に大変なことが起ころうとしてる。私もできるだけ頑張るけど、それだけじゃ全然足りないから。でもまた君に危ない思いさせちゃうかもしれない。
I see Mari could be said to be one and the same with this town. Any problems with the town leads directly to problems with Mari, creating a burden on her. Mari's fighting this too.
任せてくれ。この町は必ず守ってみせる。
Mari looks surprised for a moment at my words, then she looks down and says nothing.
大丈夫か？
バカ、キザ男、女たらしのヘッポコピー。君なんて早く行っちゃえ。
That's a mean thing to say to a person who's worried about you. Wow, that is like her. Still, she may still be toughening it out, but I can tell this abnormality is eating away at Mari.
あなたもまだまだね。気づいているでしょうけれど、今あなたたちの大切な町は以前にも増して大きな危機にさらされている。何者かの手によってかつてあなたたちが真夜中テレビと呼んだ異世界があなたたちの町に同化しようとしているわ。幸いにも町の人々は今マリーの力で守られている。でもそれも長くは持たないでしょう。
So okay. This is what I assume, right? So the Dark Hour invades Inaba, okay? But Mari, she's using the power of the TV world to protect them, seemingly, okay? Because remember, the TV world is especially for Inaba, right? So she's kind of placing them in a cocoon maybe or something to protect them, because that's why we don't see them. That's why if it's in the Dark Hour, they're gonna be like in the coffins, remember? So this is probably like the fact we don't see any of the residents of Inaba is most probably due to Mari. So due to Mari, so that's why she can't move.
どういうことだ？
霧と沈黙に覆われ迷宮となり果てた町。今あなたの町は特別な時間の中にある。邪悪な赤い霧の中を自由に動くことができるのは 抑圧された自我を受け入れたペルソナ使いだけよ。けれどこのままでは霧は深まり、力を使えない者もこの世界に飲み込まれることになる。
クマ総統の言っていた1時間以内とはそういうことか。
あなたたちに訪れた3度目の試練。いいえ、あなたたちにとっては先日起きた事件の続きというところかしら。
Yeah, it continued directly from P4A. But the thing is, if this is the dark hour, why do you say within the hour? Because dark hour is a time that doesn't move. It's the hidden time between the days. Maybe like this is something like dark effects are like dark hour, but time move on. Is it?
果たして今度も見事乗り越えられるかしら。
言って、君ならできるから。あと一つ、今回の事件。
Uh-oh. 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 That's odd. Mari's voice is starting to sound hazy. And this sensation, I felt it before. It's the feeling when I get when I leave the velvet room. Wait, no. Mari's not done yet. The culprit in this case. Before I can hear the most crucial part of Mari's message, my consciousness is slowly swallowed by darkness. When I come to, I'm standing in front of the Dojima residence. Can't just stand around here though. As if to shake off my fears, I start running towards Junes. The same sign and turns that shouldn't exist. Just like Margaret said, the neighborhood of Inaba had become a maze in this red fog. It really is just like the TV world. I get the feeling that shadows could come crawling out from the shadows of ordinary buildings, and I shake my head at such thoughts. Is this an anxiety because of the fog too? When Labris was thrown into the TV world, her kidnapper said, you get the better of me this time. If this is the continuation of the other day, then that means he's already making his next move. The culprit's objective was to gather powerful shadows. Is that what he's setting up to do this time as well? Well, based on what we know from Naoto, right, that, well, it's something that we know, but she highlighted it again, is that Koetsu Kirijo, he tried to like combine all of the shadows to make something, and this is like kind of like a minor thing that we like kind of like overlooked. If you remember, what he's trying to do with that is like create something of a time machine. Okay, like something of a time machine. Like, I assume that if you create a huge shadow, if you merge all the shadow, you're gonna gain an unknown amount of power. Just like with mementos, right, from P5, it's gonna fill the chalice, and then that chalice is gonna be able to tap to basically like create a god or something like that. Okay, so the point is, gathering shadow itself is like you're gonna gain raw power, and it's up to you to use it in whatever way that you please. So Koetsu Kirijo was planning to do that and turn it into a time machine of some sort. We don't know what's the purpose. But based on like P3 and P5, we can assume that's what it's gonna be. And even in P4, like basically like in P4, what they're trying to do is that they make at the last couple of months of the last couple of months, you're gonna be you're gonna see the town covered in fog, right? That's the process of turning people into shadow, more or less, I think. Okay, and if we fail, Inaba's gonna be wiped out, right? Inaba is gonna be wiped out of the I won't say it wiped out of existence, but at the very least, they're gonna always be living next to their shadow or something. Okay, so it's a very dangerous place. Like in P4, there are multiple endings. Of course, you're gonna have the bad ending where you kind of like assume Namatame is, like you're gonna assume Namatame is the bad guy, and even if you choose that, the town is gonna be covered in fog, and you just leave the town without solving the case. Okay. And what are the bad endings? I remember like there's at least 3 or 4 bad endings. Second is that you didn't manage to find out Adachi. You let him like do what he wants. And what happened in Adachi's one? I kind of forget. He went and he's able to do whatever he wants, right? If we conspire with him. And we do have a choice of not facing the final boss. If we don't face the final boss, then like it's not a big thing, but that shows that we didn't like save Mari at the end. Well, what point is that the point is that like we know what they're trying to do for now, okay, which is like gathering shadows, but this time there's another layer because P4 special thing, like the specialty, like for my like the difference between P3 and P5 is that they personally face their shadows and they turn it into persona. Because P3, there's no like turning shadow into your persona, is that the shadow you awaken them. P5 is almost roughly the same. So what happened if a shadow that turned to a persona and you revert it back to a shadow? It's gonna be like a super powerful shadow, don't you think? Or at the very least, if that happens, it's gonna be like similar to P3. Remember, like we have the major arcanas, okay? The 13 major arcanas that seal away Thanatos, okay? So that the seal away like death, Thanatos, and all that game. So what I would like to say is that we need to be careful so that we don't let any one of the P4 members down, because it's gonna accelerate the doom. But something's bothering me. What is it? Is there something I'm missing? Just when I'm about to sort through the pieces once more, the red fog parts, and I see a familiar building in front of me. Junes. It did become a labyrinth. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a figure pass by and enter Junes. So through the front door. It's not. Remember, Yosuke is at the floodplains. What a relief to see him safe. But it looks like he didn't hear me because he keeps going and disappearing into Junes. I hurry after him. Yeah. I don't want to say that they swing that way, but come on. Both Yosuke and you, the first person they fight is each other. I hurry after him. The elevators aren't lit and don't seem to be moving, so I ignore them and run up the stairs. Yosuke looked like he was headed for the food court on the rooftop. I have to follow him.
Yosuke!
I still don't get what's the catchphrase though. Everyday young life Junes. What the hell does everyday young life means? When I call out the person standing in the food court, Yosuke turns around while gripping the fence and smirks.
お前か。まあ、誰か来るんじゃねえかって思ってたぜ。
ああ、俺もそう思っていた。一人か、クマはどうした？
クマ。はあ、あの毛玉野郎のことか。
Ah, something's not right. Teddy and Yosuke bicker all the time, but their bond of trust is stronger than anyone else underneath it. But the way Yosuke talked about him just now had this obvious current of disdain to it.
陽介なのか？
んなことどうだっていいだろう。どっちにしろお前はここで終わるんだよ。それにな、あれ見ろよ。
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't tell me. We did see this just now, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't take note of it. Is that Tartarus? Yosuke points to what's behind me. When I turn to look, I see him pointing at something beyond the red haze. On the hill beyond the distorted neighborhoods, most likely the site of Yasukami High, where I used to attend, looms a bizarre, long, and unnaturally thin shadow. Let's say if it's not Tartarus, right? I can imagine that becoming like the Tower of Babylon or something. When I rush over to the fence, the wind pushes away the fog, letting me see that thin shadow for what it really is. A grotesque tower that defies reality. Nothing like a normal building. The image of Mitsuru's people being crucified passes through my mind. That's where they are. Remember, like they were headed to Inaba.
まさか。
ルールは理解したか？お前らの目的地はあそこってわけだ。大事なお仲間とこの世界を救いてえならな。
I scream to try to get a better look of the tower through the fence, but the fog blows in again and conceals that abomination. As I continue to stare at it, hoping the wind will change, I sense Yosuke move on. Huh? Oh wait, the real one? As I react to Yosuke move, Yosuke's persona comes charging in with tremendous speed, dodging the fence with its arm. What's going on here?
陽介が二人？
騙されんな。そいつは俺の偽物だ。
Wait, didn't we say Kanji and Yukiko? Right? When just now with Yosuke and Teddy, both of them were together to say, "Oh, I sense Yukiko and Kanji." He didn't say anything about you, because he did ask Teddy, but Teddy already went away. He said, "Oh, come on, at the very least tell me where you is, right?" Oh, give me a second. Wait, mirror match? The two Jiraiya's clash fiercely. An immense shock wave shakes up the surrounding air. As the persona cross swords, what looked like scattered all across the darkened food court. The two Yosuke summon their personas before my eyes.
シャドウの塊で作られた偽物野郎だ。
シャドウの塊？
クマ相当の差し金だよ。俺らと勝負するためにこいつらを作ったっつう話だ。とにかくここなら俺らもペルソナが出せる。全部ぶっ倒して先へ進むしかね
The
え。
two Jiraiyas use the rebound of their powers to put distance between each other. Though the opponent is a fake, this shows their skills are perfectly matched.
陽介、大丈夫か?
I remember, like, when Yosuke was fighting with you, he said that, I was made with the data from the data about you guys.
正直しんどいけどな。これが P1 の続きだっつうなら なんとしても負けるわけにはいかねえだろ。
そうか、陽介も気づいていたんだな。この事件はラビリスの時と同じ犯人によるものだ。
ああ、犯人の目的はわかんねえけど、とにかくこいつぶっ倒して先へ進もうぜ。バッカどもがまだわかんねえのか。てめえらはここで終わっちまうんだよ。強がってんじゃねえよ。いくら俺のコピーっつっても俺と鳴神相手にして勝てるわけがねえだろ。2対1ってか。こっちが正々堂々っつってんのに、お前らずいぶん卑怯じゃねえ。
Fair and square。
つるまなきゃ何もできねえクソ虫ども。てめえらこそ忘れてんじゃねえぞ。P-1 クライマックスは基本前線対マン勝負だ。二人同時に相手にする必要なんかねえんだよ。さあリングインだぜ。
On the fake Yosuke signal, 4 red pillars fall out of the sky. The pillars tower over the food court, surrounding both ourselves and the fake. They give off an eerie light.
なんだこれは。
ほら、さっさと一人ずつかかってこい。ああ、言っとくけどね、俺を無視して先を急ごうったって無駄だぜ。さっきも言った通り、世界の終わりを止めたいならお前らは八甲へ向かうしかねえ。けどお前らはもうリングの内側にいる。その赤い柱はな、見えない壁を作り出すんだ。1対1の戦いで勝つ以外にこの壁を消す方法はねえ。つまりお前らのどっちかが俺をぶっ倒すしかこの世界を救う方法なんかねえんだよ。くそ、また見えない壁かよ。どうする？あいつの言ってることを信じるか。
If I think about the way the previous P1 Grand Prix worked, there's no reason to doubt these invisible walls exist. There's no way to confirm what the fake Yosuke is saying, and even if there was, if beating him in 2-on-1 fight resulted in us being trapped here, then it would be a hollow victory. You know, it feels weird. Like I say, we do see like there's no like there's only okay. There are different routes, but the time is running parallel. Okay, and in other words, there shouldn't be two Yusuke or like two. Wait. Because okay, I'll talk about more about this when we get back to the. I'll talk more about this when we get to the story tree. Okay, I'll talk about it when it comes to story tree. Now it's a bit hard to explain without us seeing the story branches.
仲間同士じゃなくてもさっさと戦えんクマ。最初っから相手は偽物だって言ってるでしょ。
お前は。
はいはい、みんなのクマ相当クマよ。さっきから見てれば天使は何をしとるクマ。せっかくいい勝負になるように丹精込めてそっくりな偽物作ったっちゅうに、これ以上何を望みやがるクマか。
うっせえ、いきなりお前が正々堂々とか言い出すから何か裏があるかと思うんだろうが。
陽介、ひどい。クマはただ君らのファイトを感じたいだけクマよ。まあ別にいいけどね。悠長にそんなことしとると本当に世の中が滅びちまうクマよ。さあ早く殺し合いがいいさ。
だーやろう、偽物になっても可愛くね。
I'm thinking back again of course like the voice overlap right just now. So I'm thinking back on who's the voice actor for that in the series. It's a famous voice actor, but I don't remember them being in P3 or P4. I think. Yeah, it's a new person. It's not in P3 or P4 based on my memories.
落ち着け陽介。焦れば向こうの思うつぼだ。
Yeah, we have no choice but to fight the fake here. I'm questioning who will go up against it, Yosuke or me. We like Yosuke. It's good that they give us the chance to choose. The reason why is that it's better to like let them face themselves. Thing. Man, it's a bit hard to see. Man, I get confused because both of the colors are the same. Crap.
試合終了だ。おめでとう。
The red pillars surrounding us shatter, and the fake Yosuke loses cohesion with black bubbles burst from it. What looked like glowing grains of sand quietly emerge from it. As they get caught up in the fog, the glowing grains disappear into the sky.
本当にシャドウの塊なんだな。
その辺は信用してもいいだろう。ま、何度見ても気分悪いけどな。
何度見ても。ここに来る前にも誰かの偽物と戦ったのか。
This makes sense.
その
Makes sense.
なるかみ、お前の偽物とさ。
俺の？そうか。大丈夫だったか？
いや、けどお前じゃないってのはすぐ分かったんだ。そもそも今回の連中は最初から俺らの真似なんかしちゃいねえって感じで、前みたくネチネチ揺さぶりをかけてくるわけじゃねえけど、逆にそれが気持ち悪いんだよ。
正体を明かして初めから正々堂々勝負か。にわかには信じられない
な。だろ？まあ怠慢で勝たないと進めねえっていうのは前と同じルールだけどさ。だからっつって向こうの言うことをまんま信じるのもどうかっつうか。
Yosuke is right. It certainly looks like the culprit has come to settle this fair and square, but he also taken Mitsuru-san and the town hostage, leaving us no choice but to fight. Which means there must be a reason they are so adamant on fighting us one-on-one.
そういえばクマや他のみんなは大丈夫なのか？
はあ？ああ、クマはクマっぱなで天城発見してすっ飛んでったわ。
How about Kanji? Kanji, right? Was the other person that he noticed, he sensed. And I got a feeling like fighting one-on-one and losing, like it just now we did see like whatever the soul is being evaporated into the air. Could that be the point? It's that the more people lose one-on-one, even if it's a shadow, it's gonna feed the ultimate goal.
おかげでお前探すのに俺がどんだけ苦労したか。
助かったよ。だがクマの鼻が効くならひとまず安心だ。みんなのことはクマに任せて、俺たちはハチ公に急ごう。クマ総統の言う世界の滅亡までもう時間がない。
ちょい待った。それさっきの偽物も言ってたけど、なんでハチ公なんだよ。
理由はわからないが、俺たちが目指すべきなのはハチ公らしい。あれを見てくれ。
When I point to where I saw the tower, Yosuke rushes over to the fence. His flustered expression changes to surprise on seeing the tower looming on the hill past the hazy red fog.
あれってハチ公か？どうなっちまってんだよあれ。
とにかく行ってみるしかない。おそらくキリジョーさんたちもあそこにいる。
くそ、何もかも向こうの思い通りってわけかよ。
ああ、だが俺たちでやるしかない。頼りにしてるぞ、陽介。どうした？
いや、そうだよな。誰かがいないとできないんじゃなくて、誰かがいるから向かっていけんだ。
You know, if this is canon, like I have no, like if this is canon, like it's very hard to argue. It's very hard to argue that both of them are not in a relationship. You know, like I know bros before hoes, but I think here it's not bros before hoes. It's bros before all. Bros before all. That's right. If P1 CLIMAX rules say we have to fight one-on-one, then we'll obey them. But we're definitely not incapable of doing anything without crowding together. Each one of us can be as strong as we need to be. It's okay for the sake of others and believe in the cause.
なり、なんかちょっと感覚おかしくなってたわ。行こうぜ、相棒。
I nod. Yosuke looks like he has overcome his doubts. Together, we run towards the Yasugami High through the maze-like town. Eventually, we reach the base of the hill, where we discover a sign with an arrow pointing to the P1 CLIMAX mine site. What's that? Whoa, we're at school already? I was expecting more fights. It's no longer a maze from here. There's a little bit of distortion, but it's the usual school route I remember taking every day. If I ignore the P1 CLIMAX flyers posted everywhere like the election posters, that is.
またこれかよ。どんだけ人のトラウマえぐんだっつの。で、おお。
Yosuke suddenly stopped his complaining. Does this look like Tartarus? Like, of course the tower, right? But does this look like Tartarus? If I'm not wrong, Tartarus looks more ominous, like a bunch of shadow makes it. This looks like more man-made, you know? Could this be the Tower of Babylon? What just come into view for both of us is a strangely decorated school building, just like the P1 Grand Prix from the other day, and that bizarre tower that looms over the rooftop.
マジかよ。本当に学校の上に生えてやがる。つかでけえし。
Is that
you? 天城か。
急ごう。
After nodding to each other, we make a dash towards the Yasugami main gate. Please be safe, go. Yunes Food Court. I think we can go for here. Okay. We can go for here. But this is what I wanted to talk about earlier. Okay. This is where, like, this is where they separate, right, between Yosuke and Teddy. So the weird thing is that shouldn't he be looking out for Yukiko? Why did he went to you instead? Okay. Like, even though Teddy already say, that's Yukiko and Kanji. Oh, they left Kanji, but still. Shouldn't he also say that, can you at the very least tell me where's you? That's why I feel a bit off. Let's see how far it goes. Oh, I assume this is the true ending. Maybe. Oh no, that's not the true ending. This is probably the true ending. Yep. But looking at this, it's not as long as compared to Oh. Oh. Looking at this, it's not as long as like going through all of P4A, but still, I think for today we'll go until here. Okay, we'll go for until here.
待っててゆきちゃん、今行くクマおろまた同じ看板コマ
Wait, are we leaving Kanji out to fend for himself? Right? Because we're heading to the school where Yukiko is. Kuma's also going for Yukiko is. Man, we're really leaving Kanji out to fend for himself.
今度は行き止まり一体何がどうなっとるクマか
It's no use. I decide to stop and then concentrate on my nose.
これぞゆきちゃんの気配なのゆきちゃんの近くに別の反応が
Could this be someone trying to approach Yuki-chan, who must be so lonely and lost without her teddy, and score with her? That's unforgivable. My rage is on the verge of exploding.
ダメクマ2つあることまでしかわからないし
Of the two readings, Yuki-chan is one of them. One of them seems a bit weird. How do I put it? It was like that sensei that melted earlier.
もしかして誰かの偽物クマこいつはいかんぜよまあクマっぱなが言うことを聞かんぱなあじゃなくてクマもうここがどこかもわからんちんクマよ陽介は無事先生と会えたクマかなーにお前をぶちかましとるか貴様は
Ah, there's no teddy.
クマ出たクマおよ我ながらなんちゅうふぬけずらしとるクマクマ相当じゃい敬礼せんか敬礼って言ったな届きなクマの偽クマめ
What's with the inflated ego? Well, you also have an inflated ego. First we defeat fake sensei, and now fake me is shown up. Worse yet, this is bizarre fake that caused me so much hassle the other day. It looks like I better give it a piece of my mind.
たく世話の焼けるクマクマねそんなところでもたもたしてると世界が滅亡してしまうクマよ
That's right, I can't waste any time here. Hey, why is this fake telling me that? Or is this a reverse psychology? Is this weirdly dressed clone actually a good guy? Nah, impossible.
そんなこと言ってちょっとくらい優しくしたってクマは惑わされんクマよお前はクマの人気を狙う偽クマクマほうほう人が親切に言っとるのにそげなこと言うとは不届きなやつクマねではいいことを教えてやる
Who's this voice?
私が本物であろうと偽物であろうとどちらでも変わりはしない
You know, P4 remake is definitely coming. It's definitely coming. I'm super curious about how they're gonna animate his shadow, you know? Because his shadow is supposed to be very scary, and of course it's low res on the P4 one, right? I definitely believe they're gonna make it very scary. That's one thing I'm looking forward to.
忘れたかお前も私と同じただのシャドウに過ぎないのだから
What's going on here? Just when I thought the fake the fake stopped cosplaying as that puffed up general. Its voice suddenly changed. How dare he say that I'm the same as the shadow? It's so mean.
クマは先生たちと会って変わった。クマは他の誰でもないオンリーワンのクマクマよ。先生たちだってそう言ってくれたクマ。
ふん。では仲間たちがいなかったらお前は何なのだ。誰かに認めてもらわなければお前はお前でいられない。そんなお前は一体何者なのだ。
それは
安心しろ。お前だけではない。この世界に生きるクソどもは全員そうさ。貴様らの言う自分など所詮その程度。他人の位置でしか自分を決められぬ。弱者どものざれ言に過ぎないのだ。傷を舐め合い群れて心の平穏を得る。お前たちは腐った慣れ合いにどっぷりと浸かり、その真実から目を背けているに過ぎないのだ。
そんなんじゃないクマ。クマはただみんなと一緒にいたいだけ。みんなだって目を背けてなんていないクマ。
まあいい。この場でお前をなぶり殺し、お前のペルソナもろともシャドウに戻してやろう。さあ、リングインだ。
You know, like just how I say, like what happened if you turn a persona? I mean, a shadow. What if you turn a Okay, this world, like shadow turned to persona is like how you get your persona, right? And if you turn that persona back into a shadow, you're supposed to get like an immense power from it. Now, here comes the question I have. What if Teddy, who originally is a shadow that gains sentient, turned back into a shadow? What kind of power do you think that you know, Teddy turning back into a shadow will have? Because like shadow is the raw power itself, right? And persona is the refined form of that power. The best example you can see is from Jiraiya, because Jiraiya is the first enemy that we fought, because the shadow Jiraiya is the frog thingy, right? Okay, it's very raw, it's very powerful, but it's unrefined. But when you get Jiraiya, when you turn it into the persona Jiraiya, that Jiraiya is able to grow and get stronger based on the growth of Yosuke. Okay, and now Yosuke had grown, become strong, and if the persona Jiraiya turned back into a shadow, it's definitely gonna become more powerful. Like I say, it grows, but at the same time, if it went wild, it's gonna be an even bigger threat. Teddy is a shadow that can use a persona. Think about that. Okay, so if something ever, I think like this just be speculating. If Teddy is ever turned back into shadow, it's gonna be a very, very big problem. When the fake puts its hand up, the red pillars go wham into the ground. This is just like when Yosuke fought against the shadow earlier. Let me guess, does this fake wanna pick a fight with me?
そうだな。では勝った方が本物というのはどうだ？
言い訳あるかクマ。これは絶対負けられんでしたい。なんとしてもクマがオンリーワンで証明しちゃるクマよ。
By the way, did you notice, like, the voice acting for Good Kuma and Shadow Kuma are different. Not because, of course, Shadow Kuma, they have like the overlapping voice acting, right? But pay attention to Shadow Kuma's like Japanese voice acting as well. Well, if you ever get to see it again. Well, you could just rewind and hear it again. Oh, by the way, Kuma is one of my favorite characters to play with.
Round final.
Okay, now it's much easier to see. Just now with Yosuke and Yosuke, it's very hard to see the difference. Wait, what is Risa there? Ah, damn it! He countered my counter! Damn it! Wait. Can we? I don't have enough. Wait, that's it? I actually wanted to use a finisher, but I was trying to charge. Oh well.
なんとか偽物にならずに済んだクマ。しかし戦いってこんなにヒーコラするもんだったクマか。なんかいつもより余計にバテてるような。
If you notice that when Yosuke fight, he didn't feel that tired. Could he put a strain on the shadows they are fighting? Remember, even though he gained sentience, he's still a shadow. Right when I get the chance to catch my breath, the pillars split down the middle, and the red fog that then while I was fighting comes drifting in and moistens my adorable bod. I say, I do feel that he is the key. This fake is not really a fake. When Yosuke won, the fake went all blurp and got all melty, so why is this one still standing normally? Oh. When Gerald Teddy opened his palm, I can see shiny things in it. Just like that, they go flying to the sky like the wind blew them away. Yeah, what is that thing? When we defeat the shadows, that thing got released. What are those shiny thingies? I think I saw them when Yosuke was fighting too. Before I stop him, General Teddy disappeared into the red fog, but I did hear him say that everyone is headed to the school. Why are they all heading there? As best I can remember, the school that Sensei went to is the same direction as those shiny thingies flew towards. And now he noticed.
赤い霧が渦巻きみたいになってなんかちょっと危険な香り。
I think for a moment, it looks like something's bad happened to Sensei's goal, but I promise Yosuke that I find Yuki-chan. Oh, so he brought Yuki-chan there. My nose is still all runny, but Yuki-chan's smell hasn't moved from that spot yet, so I know what to do.
みんな学校に向かっとるならクマはユキちゃんのところに向かうのが先クマ。あっちはきっと先生たちが何とかしてくれるクマね。もうユキちゃん待ってるクマよ。今すぐあなたのクマが駆けつけるけんね。
Something to protect. Who's the real one? I think for today, this is where we end, okay? Well, as you can see, I do have a coughing fit. Okay, so tomorrow I'll pick it up. Okay, tomorrow I'll pick it up, and like we'll pick it up. My plan is like to at least go through this one. We cover all of this, and then we'll head to Chie. My expectation for tomorrow will be reaching around. Well, of course we're gonna go with this, right? I'm gonna stop somewhere around here. Okay, my expectation, but we'll see how it plays out. I assume that if I want to go from here, finish this to here, it will take me at least 4 hours. Okay, at least 4 hours. So that's a bit too much because I do have work. Okay, so we'll go as far as I can, preferably within 3 hours or so. Okay, so let me, I need to rest. As you can hear, I've been coughing a lot in today's stream. So I want to take my rest, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this every Tuesday and Thursday. And the reason why today I'm playing it is because Dark D82, it was still not released by the time I start my stream, right? Dark D82 just released within the past hour or so. Okay, so I'll be downloading it, and most likely I'll be streaming it on Wednesday. Okay, so but tomorrow we're gonna continue with this. With that said, I'll end the stream here, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye bye.